Oh,
That's good, yeah.
We're good. Good morning. It is Friday, August 28th. All three commissioners are here. We are meeting in the commissioners' meeting room. Monica Reeves is doing the deputy clerk duties for us. We are here for a public hearing, and that is to consider a request by Janet Tooley for a conditional rezone. And the case number is CR 2020-0004. And I have Janet in the meeting room signed up to speak. So, and let's see, who do we have? Dan Lister, you are doing the staff report for us.
Correct.
And Patricia Nielsen, who is the director of the DSD Department of Canyon County. She is with us also. And there we go. So what we'll do before we get started, we are going to swear you in. Janet Tooley, Dan Lister, Patricia Nielsen, do you swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth? So help you God?
I do.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Dan.
Good morning, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Dan Lister, Planner 2 for Development Services. Before you is the Tooley conditional rezone request to CR 2020-0004. The request is a conditional rezone from the ag zone to a rural residential zone. It comes with a development agreement to limit development to only 3 parcels. As you can see on your screen is the aerial map, and then what is next to it is the proposal. So there's a parcel A that will be roughly 2.4 acres. Parcel B and C will be an acre or more in size. That little blue dash that goes through them is an easement that they will have to establish as part of the land division application that would occur after approval. And then parcel D would be an ag-only property that would remain an ag per condition. So parcel A, the 2.4 would have is Ms. Tooley's existing dwelling, and that property would also be able to have a secondary dwelling. However, based on the development agreement, parcel B and C would not be able to have a secondary dwelling. It'd just be primary dwellings only. This property is an original lot, so right now, if this didn't go through, they would be able to divide this once, and each property would be able to have a primary dwelling and a secondary dwelling per our code. So the amount of dwellings that is going to come out of this rezone doesn't change what could occur on this property now as under the A zone. Before you is to the left is our zoning map. You can see it's agricultural zoned around that area, and our future land use map also shows it to remain agriculturally zoned. However, you can see that there is a growth potential for residential in that area. We have in the staff report, as you can see, in 2018, we did approve 2 properties within that area for a rezone to something similar to what's being requested. To the left is the subdivision map. As you can see, there's 3 subdivisions within the area, about 8 lots. As you can see, to the vicinity map around the property consists of a few 1-acre lots, and then the biggest lot around it is south of it, which is a agricultural lot. To the left is our soils maps. As you can see, this is best suited soil, and so that area that will be protected, about roughly a little over 9 acres, would maintain best suited soil that could be used for agricultural production by the owner. It also abuts Deer Flats refuge, and so it has the potential of buffering that residential request from that Deer Flats area. It also has the potential in the future, you never know what could happen. It could maybe be something that could eventually become part of Deer Flats through an agreement. Who knows what will happen, but there is that agriculture buffer between Deer Flats and that agricultural parcel. And as you see on the right-hand side, there's a lot classification map. As you can see, there's a lot of splits that have occurred in that area that are not subdivisions and have been used for residential purposes. It's just showing the coloring there. It shows that what is being requested is not going to be out of character with some of the divisions that have been that have taken place in that area. Comments received from agencies Nampa Highway District has already talked to Ms. Tooley, and they've already have an agreement that they have a shared access and a paved apron. The shared access would be established through that land division application that would occur afterwards that would meet county code. Boise Project Board of Control submitted a letter saying they have water rights. Any existing ditches and shall be protected and maintained. The actual irrigation district, though, for this is Settlers Irrigation, which we didn't receive a comment, so staff did add a condition that part of the land division application that the application does get reviewed by Settlers to ensure any existing irrigation ditches are properly protected either by easement or some other mechanism. Nampa Highway District didn't have any concerns. Idaho Transportation Department had no concerns. The noticing went out to all property owners within 300 feet, including newspaper noticing and also posting, and no comments were received by neighbors. Staff, on July 1st, 2020, the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of this request subject to the development agreement conditions that you have before you. Staff is also recommending approval of this subject to the conditions. Staff believes this meets all the findings. It has an element of ag preservation, which we want to encourage. So staff is recommending approval subject to the conditions. The main conditions of this really is no secondary dwellings on parcels B and C, the 1 acre lots. It's a nitrate priority area, so we just want to make sure Southwest District has a review at the time of land division to ensure there's any added conditions needed for the development in that area. That Settler Irrigation get a review of the land division application, and basically the rest of it's just standard conditions as part of the development agreement. With that, if the board does approve this, the board action today would be to sign the finding facts and conclusions of law, sign the ordinance, amending the zoning map, and sign the development agreement. And this concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you, Dan.
Chair, I have a question. Dan, can you look at the deed restriction, page 1 on that? I have 2 questions related to that, and I think the first one is provided in this layout that you have up here. So the reference that on that right of access is that blue dotted line that you have highlighted there, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and that's not a standard width for that, but that will service those 3 properties, right?
Correct. And so I think staff, when showing that, it's just showing that they're going to have a shared access. However, at the time of land division, they will have to meet county code at that point. So we're just showing the location of that easement, but the sizing of it will be determined based on the application. So our code says they can have a 60-foot wide easement, but they can also request a reduction to no less than 28 based on the needs of that easement. So we don't want to take that away from them as part of this application. We just are showing that they already have an agreement with Nampa Highway District that they will have a shared access.
Okay, thank you. And I have one more question. So on restriction number 7 that runs with the land, let's say at some point in the future then that they want to sell, they would, a subsequent landowner would have to abide by the same conditions and restrictions placed on this. That's, I'm just asking for you to verify
through the chair, yeah, through the chair, yes. And the only way to change it would be come back through another rezone application. And that would be part of a development agreement that they would have to either modify or request to revoke or remove. Yeah.
Okay, and then is there a limit on the number of secondary dwellings on the first parcel, parcel A?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I asked if there was a limit on the number of secondary dwellings on parcel A.
No, that parcel A has an existing house, and it's a 2.4 acre property at the end of the day. At the end, staff didn't see a reason to prohibit the secondary dwelling on that property. It's a larger property, and I'm sure that would be the property that would be used to maintain probably the ag ground up above Ms. Tooley's property. So we want to take that away from her to have the extra help if needed for that ag land. if she wanted to have a secondary dwelling. Again, this is an original parcel, and as of now, they can have up to 4 dwellings if they split it off through our land division application. The conditions of the conditional rezone don't allow her to have any more than what she can currently have.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I wasn't opposed to it. I just wanted to figure out how you put that in there. And I think that you heard if there was a limit, because they have, so would it entitle her with the 2.34 acres and just one more secondary dwelling on that if she wanted, or she can build outbuilding 2 on there, right? Is what I'm
Correct.
asking.
Yeah,
Okay.
we left it so she can have a secondary dwelling.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah, it's really not, maybe it's a little bit of a question. I was looking at the soils map, Dan, and I, for some reason, I can't find it right now, but what exhibit is that soils map?
It's 4E.
Wait, let me get there, because I've looked at I'm very familiar with this area out here. I go out there frequently around that area, and I'm very familiar with the ground. And every satellite image I've ever seen of this, there's not a whole lot of farming going on that piece of property. And maybe Janet can answer this question when she comes up here, but it appears to me that is that number 2 says it's not the best suited, Dan?
You're right. So 1 and 2 are in our comprehensive plan, show it to be best suited. And then 3, 4, and 5 are moderately suited.
Okay, well, I just look at that soil out there. I think it's pretty well water saturated. It's probably real difficult to grow any kind of a crop on that. The groundwater comes up and floods it almost every year. And every satellite map I've ever seen, and even the ones you have in here, don't show any real organized activity. It could be used for pasture.
Right. Through the chair, I think Ms. Tooley can answer this, but I think she in the future is planning to have some livestock on there.
Yeah, okay. All right, that was just kind of an observation on my part. That's not really good soil.
Okay. Thank you, Dan. Janet Tooley, if you would please. And we'll need your name and address on the record.
Okay. Janet Tooley, 10214 Lakeshore Drive, Nampa, Idaho, 83686.
Thank you.
I'd like to answer what we were talking about. I know that the soil has always had a high alkali, and growing up there, we usually, if we grew anything, it was hay. So this season I've had 2 cuttings already. And I do have livestock out there, but they're not the livestock I want. We're working on it. My dad always had cattle, but we have sheep and a goat that thinks he's the shepherd. And so we have irrigated for the first time. Part of that is the problem. The irrigation is a runoff type, and you get a lot of sludge. So I'm actually the last one taking it. They stopped on the other side of me because they've opted out.
Yeah.
But they can get water from another direction, which I can't. So I'm not opting out. So that's what I know about soil.
Okay.
I believe my dad, he bought it in 71, and I believe he used to tell me, well, they used to grow corn on this property or something, but somebody might have told us that, you know. I don't know. I never saw anything but hay.
Yeah.
So tell us what your plans are.
Yeah, so well, my story is my father passed away February of 2012, and we rented this out to someone who didn't take very good care of it. And then my husband passed away 2017. So it created in me this different feeling of legacy for my children who always wanted Grandpa's property, and I'd push them away from me because it wasn't just mine. Bought my sister out. She's got her own 20 acres in Melba, 6 miles from me. And so it's more of a sentimental thing. To us, it's like gold. So soil being bad means nothing to us. And my daughter that's with me today, and my other daughter, I don't know that she joined us on here, I guess not, but they very much have always had a desire to live out there on Grandpa's property, and so I want to make that possible. Being alone, I need those son-in-laws, and I'm aware that life changes, if anyone is. The limitation, I think, is a great thing for me, because I plan to stay out there in that home. I don't really want both of them building two homes on their lots, and I don't really want anybody messing with the well that I have. I want to make sure things are independent lots, do you know what I mean, where they're taken care of. So we'll see how that goes. But been very good because of Dan Lister. Thank you for presenting it wonderfully again, and he's been super quick, because I don't do this. I do, counseling. But I'd really like to, my daughters, they've already sold their home, and they've been just waiting, well, living with me and waiting. Please approve it so we can hurry. I'm just kidding.
That's totally appropriate, totally appropriate.
I love them. 3 grandbabies, but I'm not lonely right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And I'm willing to do what I need to do, and I can afford to do it. As far as I know, I've not done a road. They're scaring me with that width. I would probably try to apply for it to not be that wide, because I like the width of the road. Could I double it? Yeah, because on the side of my entrance, there's at least that wide again before the ditch.
Okay.
The sheep do like eating. So.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
All right, thanks, Janet.
Any
No, I don't have
more
any questions.
questions? No, thank you, Janet, very much. Yes.
If Felicia's not gonna talk.
I don't think that
Okay, well.
Felicia? Okay.
Jeff Willis, who just joined.
Oh, that's her husband.
Oh. Do you want us to
Oh.
make him talk?
Would you like to speak, Jeff?
Jeff Willis? You're muted, but did you want to testify? I guess not. Oh, wait, they're trying to.
What he's doing, willing to be there.
Oh,
Okay.
assuming he doesn't know.
The mic goes on and off,
Oh,
so you just, we have no one else signed up to speak. So,
Madam Chair, I think we're ready to move on here. I'd make a motion, we close the public testimony.
okay.
moved and seconded to close public testimony. All in favor?
Aye. And Madam Chair, I am very supportive of this proposal here. For a couple of reasons. That I really like the plan that Janet has presented here to have her daughters out there and have that kind of family support is incredible. I love it. It's not that usual, and it's really nice to see that. The other thing that I really like about this is it does keep area in agricultural in perpetuity. I think that's a really good thing. So it accomplishes a lot of the goals of our comprehensive plan and still allows for a couple of houses to be built on that ground so that Janet can have her family around her. I'm very much in support of this.
Yes.
I also am in support. Really appreciate Janet's testimony and visiting with her and what she intends to do out there. And it's really nice to have this cook in perpetuity restrictions, and she's fully aware of what she's doing. I will support the application as presented.
Wonderful. And I too, I think that being with your girls and your grandchildren, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. So congratulations. And it looks like this is moving forward, and so.
Well, let's finalize this. Madam
Yes.
Chair, I will formalize it by making a motion that we authorize the board to grant the request by Janet Tooley for a conditional rezone, case number CR 2020-0004, and authorize the board to sign the findings of fact, inclusions, law, order, development agreement, and the ordinance.
Second.
Moved and seconded, approve, and do the signings. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, if we're nothing, it's not kind.
Than usual because he held details. Thank you. When, do I have to have these things?
I think have you signed the development agreement? You'll have to sign that, Karen.
Yeah. And
Do you have
we,
your driver's license, Dan? Okay.
and we do have the notary here.
Kathy? And then I'll